Delights, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing a video today about how to improve your songwriting, and I'm going to be doing that video while I do my laundry because it has been sitting in the bucket for a long time now. I have my sister here with me, right here. You wanna say hi?
Hello.
So she's gonna stay right there. A shout out to her. I'll put her Instagram tag down in the info box if anyone wants to see what she looks like, since she's gonna be, or you gonna be like that for the whole video?
Probably.
Yeah, so she's gonna be there for the whole video. You guys can check her out there. Sometimes on Instagram, I like to ask you guys what you would like my next vlog topic to be about, and one of the requests that I got was for information about songwriting and how I write songs and how to write better songs. Are you taking?
No, that's a screenshot.
Oh. Songwriting can be a ton of fun. It can also be really difficult sometimes. I think that one of the hardest parts about being a songwriter is having something that you really want to say and not completely knowing how to communicate that. I think that one of the benefits of practicing regularly is that you do get better at that. It does become easier over time. I always tell my songwriting students and just my music students in general that music is a language, and it's like any other language. You practice it, and as you practice it, you get better at speaking it, you become more fluent, and you're able to communicate more quickly and more efficiently whatever it is that you're trying to say. One of the questions that I got about songwriting was, do I write music or lyrics first? And the answer to that question is that it really depends on the song. I got a really nice compliment on the lyrics and music for Stalemate. I appreciate all of the compliments, by the way, from those of you that have sent them. You know, you spend hours and hours of your life pouring into these things. It means a lot to get feedback. I wrote the lyrics for Stalemate several years before I wrote the music. I think I was 17 when I started writing the lyrics for Stalemate, and I was just playing chess with a friend of mine, and I've always loved that game, and the chorus and first verse, and I think maybe part of the second verse, just came to me all of a sudden, and it was very conceptual. It definitely was very drafty. It wasn't the final version of the chorus, wasn't the final version of the first verse, but it was there. The idea was there. I showed it to my friend, who thought it was kind of cool, and he asked what I was going to do about the music, and I said I had no idea. And I really loved these lyrics, but I sat in the no idea zone for ever when it came to the music. The music didn't come until several years later when I downloaded just some drum loops off of Google Play. It was just like a free drum loop app, and it was a preset that was in there, and Scratchy, don't eat that. Scratchy, come here. Yeah, it was just like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. And it wasn't anything super significant, but I remember it just hit me all of a sudden, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want. This is Stalemate right here. And I remember running and finding the lyrics and putting 2 and 2 together and just sitting for a few hours on my bedroom floor with my guitar and the drum loop. At the end of that little 2-hour writing session, I had my song, and I showed it to my family, and they all thought it was really good, and it became my first big single. So songs don't always come all at once is what I'm getting at, and I think that one of the first steps to writing better songs is realizing that songwriting can take time, and sometimes it takes a lot of time. You don't always want it to take a lot of time, but sometimes it does. Now, if your question is how to write songs more quickly and not just how to write better songs, again, it's a language. You get better at speaking it over time. Practice, 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 practice. And I know that's not exactly the answer that some of you are gonna want, and I can make a separate video from this one specifically about how to get better at writing songs quickly, because I know just practicing is, you know, no one likes that answer. No one likes to be told to just practice. I think that good songwriting requires hard work, but it doesn't necessarily require you to overthink things. Like, how do I say this? Once you have thoroughly internalized the concept and idea that good songwriting is not necessarily fast songwriting, then you can focus on making the songs good. The #1 tip that I have for all of you in making your songs good is to write with your head and write with your heart and not with your hands. What do I mean by that? I mean that most songwriters play guitar or piano or ukulele or something, and the first thing that we all want to do as singer-songwriter, musician type people, or I don't know, if you like EDM type stuff, maybe it's your MIDI keyboard, whatever it is. The first thing that we want to do is we want to open up a program or pull out a recording device or grab our notebook and start strumming whatever chords we know. This is songwriting suicide. Relying on your muscle memory to write songs is terrible, and a lot of you have sent me messages saying, oh, my songs all sound the same. Yeah, if you are writing with your muscle memory, I guarantee you your songs will definitely continue to sound the same no matter what you do, because muscle memory is a thing. It kind of takes over. If you don't control it, it will control you. If you only know 4 chords, and maybe there's C, A minor, F, and G or something like that, those are the only songs that you're gonna write. But the cool thing about the human mind is that it's capable of way more than our hands are capable of. If I told some of you right now that I wanted you to write me a guitar solo, you probably could. For those of you that have never played guitar before, you might be a little intimidated by the idea, like, oh no, I've never done that. I don't even play guitar. How am I supposed to write a guitar solo? That could be difficult. But if I said, imagine for me, imagine a guitar solo in your mind, you could probably immediately start soloing in your mind. The skill that you want to get really, really good at when it comes to writing the musical portion of your song is taking something from here and putting it here. Not starting here with your hands and it's kind of just writing down whatever. Occasionally we feel really, really inspired and the chords happen to go perfectly with whatever it is that we feel inspired to write, but typically the very best songs are going to start in your head. A symphony is another example that I use with a lot of my songwriting students when they come in for a songwriting session. I tell them to write me a symphony and immediately they look at me like, what? How am I supposed to write you a symphony? And then I say, okay, just imagine a string section and imagine that it starts slow and flowy, and then imagine that the pace picks up and now there's something exciting going on and now it's happy and the notes are very quick, and then imagine it slowing down again. And I ask them, can you hear that in your mind? And all of them without fail, I've never had a student say that they can't hear it. All of them are like, well yeah, like I can hear it, but I don't know how to write it. And I'm like, you just wrote it. It's exactly what you just did. If you can hear it in your head, you've written it, okay? The skill that you have to get good at, like I said, is taking it from here and putting it here. How do you develop that skill? You practice. No, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. I recommend imagining something in your mind over and over again until you can hear it very, very clearly, okay? Think of a song that you already know. One that you don't have to think very hard about. Jingle Bells, Mary Had a Little Lamb, something like that. And I want you to really pay attention in your mind to the notes that you're hearing. So on and so forth, right? And then practice finding that on your instrument. Then pick a different song that's really familiar to you. Little lamb, so on and so forth. Then find it on your instrument and just keep picking songs that are very, very familiar to you and get used to the feeling of having to find it in your mind first and then find it with your hands. If you can really solidify in your mind what you want something to sound like, I guarantee you, you can find it. I will probably make another video that it goes into this whole process in more detail, but you have to start writing them in your mind first. Now in terms of lyrics, same kind of thing needs to happen. I think that very often we grab a pen and we grab a piece of paper and we start scribbling random phrases, and that can be great. That's a great way to kind of get the juices flowing, but we don't actually spend enough time contemplating what we really want to say. We think to ourselves, well, I want it to be kind of this genre and I want it to have kind of this sound and I want it to be really good, but what are you actually feeling? What are you actually thinking? Is it even about you? Is it written from someone else's perspective? Is it a general story? What is that story really trying to say? Another thing that I tell my songwriting students when they come in for writing sessions is that we are song detectives, not just creators. If you really want to write a song, it's because you already have a song inside of you that is just dying to get out. And so your job is not to create this song out of thin air and create it out of nothing. Your job is to figure out what in the world it is that is so important that you're just dying to write it. There's obviously something in there. So start asking yourself questions. Who, what, when, where, and why. Those questions have helped me so much. Who is the song about? Why is the song being written, and what is the why within the song? Where is everything happening? Is this happening in a physical location? Is it happening in your mind? Is there a specific city? Is there a specific town? Is there a specific, I don't know, location in your house? Whatever it is, where's everything taking place, and so on and so forth with those questions. But the second set of questions that I tell my songwriting students to work with are the senses. Like, what do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you taste? And you don't have to use all of the questions in every song, but my point is that you need to get specific. And if you can get really, really specific with yourself and you know exactly what it is you're looking for, writing lyrics that feel right and writing music that matches it really well and everything just meshing and coming together, like, it'll be good. That's pretty much it. I'm going to continue doing my laundry. I hope that helped in some way. Songwriting is such a big topic, and there's a lot of ground to cover. There's the really, really detailed, specific parts of songwriting where you talk about finding chords that sound good together and about rhyming and phrasing and all of that stuff. But if in terms of just really, really general ideas and concepts, I hope that this was a good general idea and a good general concept that you guys will find beneficial. New video coming out on Friday. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please turn on your notifications so that you can see these videos as they come out. And if you know of a songwriter that you think could benefit from this video, please send it to them. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with your songwriter friends, share it with anyone that you think will glean any kind of helpful knowledge or information from it. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate the questions. I appreciate the interest. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the music enough to think that my advice is worth something. So have a good one, and I will see you guys later. Bye.